Alrighty. Hello, everybody. This is Kirushu here, and now, before I do get started, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had quite a bit happening. Now, Deku, he has been in self-isolation for a little over 6 months. In this time, he has done a lot to try and get better, to try and fill in the space and calm himself down. Deku's taken up a number of hobbies. He takes care of the farm Gran Torino has entrusted to him. He keeps things cleaned, he does the chores, he works out, and he'll spend the day trying to figure out what he does want to do. Every once a week, he gets letters from people who know where he is. An acquaintance of his will typically come out and deliver them along with some supplies. If they're not busy and they can make the time and they do want to go see him, they can be the courier or head out there themselves. That does come with a little bit more security, but it is a possibility. Now, Deku, he has done a lot in this time. He has begun to heal. Physically, he has made a very big recovery. Mentally, he does find things to be weird. He does feel better. He has had some time to properly mourn his mother's death. And that's a big one. He has done a lot in his time here. He's thought about some of the actions he took, some of the things that he's done. He's proud of some things, and he is not proud of others. Though, Mirako came out to the farm to visit him, and she mentioned a few different things. They had some spars, and, well, they even had some drinks. And that led to Deku waking up the next morning with a beautiful woman curling up next to him in his bed, and him deciding today was a pretty good day to sleep in. Now, he is still waiting on the mail currying service and trying to figure out exactly when they will come by. He is aware that it's going to be very interesting. It's early August. That thought does come to him when he's making coffee. Mirako mentioned the date. And to be honest, he completely forgot. He's already had another birthday. I mean, a year ago. Wow. All that time? Really? All that time gone by. But where did it go? I mean, yeah. Yeah, he does know where it went. Kami's birthday is coming up. Him leaning back and just staring at the coffee maker, thinking about it, bringing up his hands and flexing his fingers. Right. She never did get into contact with him. He found out that that number that she contacted him with was in his phone. She used a new phone number to send condolences for his mother. She left him a voicemail. And she has been at arm's reach. She said that she loved him. And that's a little hard to swallow. Hard to understand. I mean, they're in a ceasefire. And right now, everyone's at peace. She wants to run away. Be a valiant knight who does go storming the castle of the evil dragon for a princess. Huh, that does sound a little funny. Then again, it also sounds a bit stupid. Maybe he could. Maybe he should. He does actually want some answers. That's another big problem. Right. He can deal with that later. Though, how should he show up? Plan his entrance? Go about dealing with all of that. It does mean quite a bit. Show up to the agency in the headquarters. Make a sonic boom to alert them to his presence. If he does show up in a battlesuit, that might trigger some alarms. But it might also show he's serious about something. He's gotta find a way to show up somewhere. A way to handle things. He needs a statement. That does sound the most appropriate. The most appropriate. He's not too far away from a hot springs. And Tokyo is about a couple hours away. She's farther up the coast, so he'll have to head her direction. Endeavor and Genus do share one side of Japan. If he does move that way, then he'll hit her territory eventually. But head to her cities. Or go. Yeah, no, that might be the best thing to do. Go to her capital. Or see what's going on in her Badlands. Find the most dangerous person in her territory or nearby it and kill them. Bring their head as a peace offering? Maybe. That sounds doable. Sounds like something. But who could he find? Who could he find? Okay, he'll have to figure that out. Him sending a phone call over to Sir Night-Eye. And Night-Eye, he is surprised today that Deku is calling him. Hello? I'm a little busy. Is this call important? Has something happened? No, actually, nothing's happened. It's been relatively peaceful. Night-Eye, I'd like to ask you a question about operations over with Ryuko. Operations? Has something happened? No. Do our spies have any information about the Badlands towards her side of Japan? We should have some information. Then again, a lot of it is available to us as well. Unclaimed territory does have its own perks. I see. Now, can you give me the name of someone in her Badlands who has been relatively aggressive towards her people? There are a number of people like that, Izuku. You could go after the One-Eyed Lion. The who? The One-Eyed Lion. He particularly has set up shop towards her territory. And he has had an expansionist mindset in trying to break into her territory. He's gone through a few small skirmishes with her people, and does even send people in to try and kidnap women. She does not like the man. He has two different quirks. He's highly strong, for one, and he's a massive lion. Yes. However, there is a difference. He isn't like Tiger, as you think. Tiger bought a version of this man's quirk, where he didn't have the full mutations of it. This man, he was born with both abilities. Are you certain? Yes. It's been confirmed. Right now, he's a pain in Ryoko's side because he likes to take hostages and use them against her. If any of his men get captured, they will exchange women and children for them. He's kidnapping kids? Yes. And from what I've heard, the money she's put on his head is quite good. She took an eye, and he told her that he'd kill someone, a child, if she touched him again. She let him go, and he did it anyways. He may have been trying to prove a point, but she has made it quite clear that she wishes to have the man dealt with. I can do that. Are you certain? I can. Consider it to be a peace offering. Thank you for that. Are you back in the action? Not just yet. Though, I might need to rely on myself for just a minute. You know? I get it. Izuku, if you're not up for it, then don't do it. I have to go talk to Kami. If killing this man gets me closer, then I'm up for it. He needs to die. Deku going to hang up. And right now, he does find himself annoyed. Happy, but annoyed. He does put on his gloves. And then going to put on his shoes. He does look around the house. It's a nice, quiet little place. Will he come back here? He does hope so. It's not a bad location. But that is the main thing. It isn't a bad place to be. And right now, he does go to take flight and go to blast off. Right now, waiting for himself to get high enough up into the air and far enough away. If he does cause a sonic boom in this place, people might get suspicious, might get a little fearful. And that is something he would rather like to avoid. And Deku, he does fly at high speeds. Right now, him arriving back at his house shortly later. And when Deku does come in, a number of people are there to greet him. Right now, Cynthia does gonna bow her head, along with another man and a butler. Both bowing their heads and asking if Mr. Midoriya does need anything today. Him turning, shaking his head, no. Expressing, he's just stopping by real quick. He shouldn't be around for too long. Ray coming out and bowing. Right now asking if he's going to be sticking around. No. Right now, I need to go deal with someone. You're going back into battle. We're in a time of peace. I know. But, I need to go talk to someone in Ryoko's territory. Me showing up unannounced might be suspicious, so I'm going after the One-Eyed Lion. The One-Eyed Lion? I've heard of him. Fumi does as say. Right now, her walking out, and Deku going to turn. She is in some exercise gear, and he does to ask. Exactly if she does know anything he should know. He's a brutal man. Some people think that he eats children. Is that true? It's rumors. But he's not against taking hostages. Her face scrunching up. And Deku, he does go to scowl, talking about it. He's heard that too. Though he's fairly certain showing up with some refugees and a dead man will get him some answers. It should be good. It sounds good. But are you sure that's a good idea? I'm not heartless. Besides, if she hears a sonic boom, then she'll probably crap her pants. Most people do. You think she's afraid of you? Deku looking at her. And Fumi does go to feel a bit embarrassed with that slip, remembering the guy she's talking to. Deku looks a lot better. I mean, in the last couple months, he's gained back that stance of his. I mean, hell, before the guy, he was weird. He doesn't look so shriveled up and small, hunched over. He's tall, he's standing, and he does look confident in his next few actions, walking right past her and making his way towards his armory. Deku, he does go to grab his spare battlesuit and get ready to leave. Him going to make some minor adjustments to it with the size fitting, and make a small note to talk to Nezu about a new one. Though he does get a turn, turning to look at a still suit he ordered from David Shield. And that was a long time ago. Though he does like the color. Not a bad option. Green. And what is that? Black lining? Not too bad. It does look more like a cloak. Though, Deku turning and looking at this battlesuit. Right. If he's going to be playing this safe, then he shouldn't show up too heavily armed. But then again, maybe just in case. Deku grabbing a quirk nullifier, as well as his throwing spikes and throwing knives. Thinking about what to do. If the guy truly is blinded in one eye, he can catch him off guard, or just scare his men into submission. And that is his main goal. Show up with a, actually that could work. A dominance display. If this guy wants to try and scare people, Deku should try and scare someone. Making his way over to his trophy room. And when he does get to step in, he does get to see a few different things. Hawks' wings are mounted on his wall. You do have Endeavor's battlesuit being the main centerpiece in a glass case. You do have Gettin's jacket over there, a metal mask hanging on the wall, and even Crust, he does have a shield mounted on the wall. Deku is still wondering about those plates. Maybe talk to the family armorer. The family manufacturer? Needs a new suit anyways. Might as well place that order. Deku, he does get to shoot that text. Right now him throwing up his hood and going to put on his face mask. And when he does get to step out, everyone, they do go to see him. Deku, he does go to disarm the system and inform them to re-enter the code when he does take off. And some of them do go to watch. Deku, he does go to have an airburst send him flying up into the air into the distance. Before he does, you gotta have another airburst send him flying away in another direction. Them going to hear after a second the sonic boom. And that it does go off. As Deku does start to make his way up to Ryoko's territory. And people, they can hear a boom, and a boom. Deku continuing. Right now, he does have a lot of thoughts going through his head. Him looking across the sky and asking the other users if they think he's going a little overboard with this. Possibly not. Ryoko does like people of like mind. In fact, it's why she's been so cooperative over the years. I understand her policies, and I even do have similar ones. Endeavor was more ruthless, but not heartless. Genis, though, he's a little tricky. Conniving. We're not sure what he really thought. Is that so? Most people are concerned with such matters, such as this. Has it really gotten that bad? Bruce does what say, asking about it. Are people really like this now? Some of them. All Might does what it say. Deku practically hearing the man's arms crossed. And that what does make him want to chuckle? Deku does think back to them. It's like this in a few different places. The Badlands cities, they're not too far off from being border cities. Border cities do have sustainable food, just enough to get the population by. Not enough to really have real luxuries. The family has smaller operations set up there, but just enough to where if they get taken, it's not too big of a loss. Fact is, Badlands are gone, far beyond repair, like what he did to Kyoto. And, well, what Kodo is currently going through. While it is now family territory, it might become a Badlands city because it's going to take too long to repair it. Kyoto and the former capital, they're both by the coast. So, they're worth the investment. Makes sense. Not bad. It's just common sense. They go flying. And right now there is in the city. A number of things are happening. And a lot of people, they are getting up to their little shenanigans. Before a massive sonic boom is heard. And right now some people, they do get a freeze. Some registered that noise. Others didn't. Some people do go to look up. And others, they're not sure what that sound was in the first place. They've heard about that noise. They've heard of Izuku Midoriya. But the idea that he would be here, it's... Wow. Why? And right now they do stand on top of a watchtower. It's a semi-ruined building, but it's part of their territory. Part of their home. And when they looked up, there was a man flying in the sky. One they've never seen before. He was looking down on the city. And he looked tiny, but he moved fast. And there was where he did appear. Right now, a burst of wind announcing his arrival. As the man is trying to swing up his weapon, and Deku does throw his hand out, grabbing it and going to stop it, expressing, "He's not here to hurt anyone." You, I've heard of you. The man in black. Who? I, you're Izuku Midoriya, aren't you? Yes. Where is the one-eyed lion? Him? Uh, right now, I'm not in the mood. I don't care who you are, as long as you don't work for him. Where is the one-eyed lion? I need to find him. He's on the other side of the city. A large place. You can't miss it. He has his own arena, and the fires. He lets his guys have fires. Look for chaos. And, well, he's got his tags. Good. Can you point me in a direction? The man bring up his hand, pointing at a wall. And Deku does go to leap up into the air with a quick kick. Right on him blasting off that way. And the person, they do take a deep inhale. That was horrifying. They just met Izuku Midoriya. And he moves faster than the eye can see. Christ. Right. Right. Well, they're just happy that that's over. Now, Deku does arrive on the other side of the city. And some people, they do just stare up at a man flying through the air. Before Deku does arrive at this location, fires are burning in barrels, and people do to roar. Whenever Deku does go to finally stop in front of a location, he does go to stare. Something flying at him as he does to move his head, and go to shift to the side through the air. Right now, him bringing a hand up and grabbing the weapon that flew through it, turning and looking around. Before someone does a roar out for him to fucking leave. And Deku does a turn to the person. And they do to talk about it. They're not falling for that shit again. Deku dropping this piece and glaring at them. Before the person, they do just stare at Deku. Him pulling back his hood and going to remove his mask. And they do have their face drop. I'll get the boss. Him gonna turn and leave. And Deku does it wait patiently, since he really wants to talk to this man. But he's here. That's a good sign. Then again, from the way he's been described, he'll have to use force. Make things easy on them. Quick. Are they more terrified of him or their boss? That's the main thing Deku is interested in. Though, he does want to see if that trick does still work. It wasn't perfect with Tiger, but maybe with this guy it can work. Just a little extra torque will be needed for it. Call it a magic trick. Probably the best way to look at it. Now, with that being said, the man does come out to meet Deku, and the negotiations are short. And with that, let's currently cut over to Ryuko. Ryuko she does sit in her office, and she does continue to express concerns about Sayako and Telly's current mental state. And Sayako, she does somewhat sit there, still going over some data on a tablet as Ryoko does continue. Again, right now, she does need to set down her equipment and stop looking at whatever data she has. She does appreciate that she took time to do so. But fact of the matter is, a lot of people are getting worried. She's becoming obsessed with it again. And she thinks she had a breakthrough. I'm telling you, I might have discovered something important about this. Now, yes, it is a debate, widely debated, and a question. How many quirks does he have? He obviously has teleportation and some enhancement abilities. But it isn't just that. We've heard reports about a possible assassination attempt on his life. Multiple, in fact. One was even said to be where he prevented it by not eating the food. He knew it was poisoned. He knew something. And do you think this is important? How? Because enhancement. He could smell poison in the food. You think he could smell poison in his meal? It's a possibility. One of the only ones I can connect to this theory. Enhanced physical power. Enhanced durability. Enhanced senses and reflexes along with senses of smell. I mean, it's either that or he knows toxins. Plus, there's even the regeneration ability. We know from his fight with Endeavor, he lost functionality in a lot of his body. He kept himself moving, and from the amount of blood we saw him coughing, we saw him vomiting, a lung collapsed. But he processed out the blood. Sayako, you are spiraling once more. I'm fairly certain I'm not. He got stronger during the battle, extremely so. But that's the thing. His speed and strength, they went straight out the window. I'm saying I might have gotten it this time. I might have cracked the code. I might have... Her eyes turning to the right behind her, looking back at her before turning back all the way. And she does stare at something behind her. And Ryoko, she does think, letting in a deep inhale before letting a breath out. Lovely. The girl finally snapped. She broke. She broke, didn't she? Okay, well, they're going to need to drop her in an ice bath and spike her next cup of tea with something to knock her out. Then, hopefully, that can help. Though, maybe... She'll have to hand off Sayako to medical personnel and... Miss Ryoko? I'm sort of busy at the moment. What is it? Izuku Midoriya is here to see you. I'm sorry? He's in the building. No, ma'am. If you haven't noticed him yet, may I recommend you turn around? Her going to slide back and turn. Right now discovering exactly what Intelli was staring at. And there, floating in the air, is a man. Right now, him, with his arms crossed, and a pelt streamed over his shoulder. It does get a bellow, and it does look similar to. Wait a second. Her going to walk over. Right now, going to step out onto the balcony as Deku he does go to land. And express, dropping the pelt off of his shoulder to the ground. This should be someone she is quite familiar with. Her bending down and going to stare at it. Right now, her ignoring the dried blood that is on it. And she does go to stare. The same scar over an eye. And, well, this is fresh. Though, from how fast he must have been flying, a lot of the blood is gone. What is this for? Surely it isn't as a measure of good faith? Or a declaration of war? No, actually. I did you a favor by taking this guy down. I've heard he's been quite troublesome. And, as a show of good faith, that I'm not here for hostile intention. In fact, I've just benefited your people. All of the men involved in that operation have been killed, strung up. And the women involved, they're currently on their way here. Though, the one-eyed lion, he did have some accomplices, those of the female persuasion. And what did you do with them? They're marching. He decided to, well, I'll save you the crass example, be a farmer. If you get my meaning. I see. I'm not sure how to respond to that. There's no real good way to respond. Right now, her picking up the pelt and handing it back to him. And Deku, he does gotta throw it back over his shoulder and express. They should arrive not too late, maybe. She might want to send people out to meet them, help ease their march. He ordered some other people in the city to make sure they get there safe. And you expect they'll listen? Well, a glass floor is still a glass floor. Everyone has to live in it. I ordered them to. I see. A show of force. And you're not going to do that here? I can only assume that you're here for Miss Kimi. Yes. I have no hostile actions towards her. I just wish to speak to her. Get an explanation. An explanation? Right now, someone rushing up to him. And Sayako does go to grab the front of his battlesuit as Ryuko does sit back down, turning and opening her drawer, pulling out a bottle of scotch. This is going to be a whole thing. Right now, Sayako does go to look up at Deku and express an explanation. He needs to give an explanation. She has spent 7 months trying to figure him out. I mean, the battle with Muscular, the data she had about that last year, everything she's looked into. I mean, it is a clusterfuck. It is bullshit. It is stuff that does not make sense. Scientifically speaking, he shouldn't have won. And then his battle with Endeavor? She's calculated it. The man has a cerebral enhancement, augmentation, and his combat power, he scales to All Might in durability. Does he now? Yes, I've run the numbers. In a straight-on brawl, All Might can win. But there is a 1 in 10 chance of him losing. Highly doubtful. All Might going to say. Nandeku does suppress a snort. Really? And me? I've run the numbers. You toyed with Endeavor. If you didn't, your chances of winning are absolute certainty. 100% across the board. For 5 minutes, you're unstoppable. But whatever that abilities, it comes with severe backlash. And auto recovery? How many quirks exactly do you think I have? You're the mutant. The mutant? Someone came up with that name? They've got to come up with something. Ryuko knocking back the glass. And Deku does have a twitch in his eye as Danger Sense does alert him to that. He doesn't exactly miss that. Though, he's gotten better with it. And Sayako does get a small twitch Deku has. Her asking, is that some sort of sensory ability? Some sort of perception-based ability? Something happening? Triggered by alcohol? But what could it be then? Some sort of... No. Are you done? I have questions. You have 24 quirks, don't you? That's the only logical way I can even think of you doing half the things you've done. You can regenerate, you can puppeteer your own body, you can survive intense damage, you don't feel pain. I do feel pain. You do? Yes, I do. Now, if you're done, I have a ton of questions. The fact of the matter is, you got stronger during your battle. That shouldn't have been physically possible. You didn't access the same quirk to do what you did you? I won't answer that. Though I wasn't exactly swinging at full tilt either. What? You weren't going all out. Ryuko's saying, a glass slipping from her fingers as she does it to catch it. And Deku, he does get a turn, looking right at her. His face is completely serious. And that might terrify her even more. Izuku Midoriya went in swinging against Endeavor. If, even during those 5 minutes, he wasn't swinging at full tilt, he was still breaking records. And that idea, it does terrify her. And Sayako is trying to bombard Deku with questions. Before the door does a swing open and Mandalay does come storming in. Right now, Deku glancing up and going to give her his attention. As someone is right behind her and trying to talk about it. She said before, maybe now isn't the best time. I mean, hell, this isn't good. This is not a good idea. I need to talk with him. Hi, Mandalay. Hi? And that's all you have to say to me? Her walking right up. And going to bring a hand up and poking it into Deku's battlesuit. You didn't... You ghosted me. I never ghosted you. You kept texting me. You ghosted me. Are you okay? I'm fine. Though this one's annoying. She's like that. I need answers. I mean, this question. Can you move faster than light? I'm not answering that. That means yes, doesn't it? Okay, I need to get this all recorded. I need to talk with him more. I mean, would you be able to sit down with me and listen I'll deal with you in a minute. I'm here for a reason, and you're really testing my patience. That is enough, both of you. Mandalay, relationship issues later. For right now, Mr. Midoriya is here for Kimi. You're here for her? Why? That girl's been through enough. And I highly doubt she wants to see you. I want to talk with her. She hasn't messaged me at all. I just want answers for something. Answers? Yes. Mr. Midoriya and Miss Kami were involved. Mentally looking at Deku, annoyed, but her face does go slack-jawed and a little pale. And Deku does go to bring his hands up and grab her wrist. Right now, pushing it away and talking about it. He just wants to see her. Talk with her, for Christ's sake. She kind of ran out on him without an explanation. I'll call her. You will? Yes. Though I'll let her explain. Come on. Her turning to her friend, who does get a stare at Deku, still unmoving, before registering what's happening. And she does get a turn, expressing for him to follow. Right now, him going to do so. They do go to walk past the receptionist, and the woman does a turn seeing the man. Right now, him also casually strolling through the building. And they do head to the elevator, him asking what this is all about. And Mandalay doesn't respond. Her sending out a phone call and beginning to express. Izuku is here. He showed up at the agency, and that was that boom she heard. No, people are okay. No, if there was a problem, she would have definitely heard it. No, hey, calm down. He's not aggressive. He had to deal with Intelli and me, and he's kept his cool. He says he just wants to talk. Uh-huh. I know. I know. Listen, now is the best time to talk. I'll try and explain things to him as best as I can. But I feel it is inappropriate for me to. Girl, get your ass down here. Besides, he's gotten better. Her eyeing Deku up and down. And he does turn, staring right at her. As Pixie Bob does it ask, so, exactly what are they doing now? We're getting lunch. Them going to step out of the elevator after it does open. A couple awkward seconds later. And some people, they do get a turn. Right now, Mandalay came out of the elevator. And there is Pixie Bob. The two came running in here, angry and quickly. Though, whenever Deku does get a step out, people do to see him. Small flecks of blood are still on his suit. And with the lion pelt on his right shoulder, yeah, he certainly has made an entrance. Him turning his head and looking around. A ton of people are staring. And he does see a lot. Respect, fear, and that new thing in some women's eyes that he's finally figured out what it is: interest, desire. I mean, there's a group of women over there looking at him like he's a hunk of meat. Huh, he kind of feels objectified. Then again, him turning with a small snort. It does feel nice. Respect. Fear. Things he thought no one would ever give him in his life. Interest. Something he's finding a lot more is around him. Then again, he gets plenty of interest back in Yagi territory. He still needs to deal with Toru and her flirtatiousness. And Mirako. There's that. Huh. It's probably easier to count the number of women who don't try to flirt with him on one hand. Though, how much of it is real interest? Right now, them getting some food as Mandalay does yell at the person talking about what's happening and about what she wants them to do right now. And they do to head to a private conference room. Deku, he does to sit there with an appetizer in front of him, looking down at it and going to slowly test it with his fork, as Mandalay does to sit down, expressing, Kimi should be here in about 10 minutes. She was a little busy at home, and some of her girlfriends are going to be coming along soon. He'll have to deal with them. Though, she is curious, leaning her chin on a finger. Exactly what have you been up to? You've been gone for a bit of time. And you look bigger. Gotten stronger? Yeah, I have actually. Then again, nearly dying will kind of do that to you. Nearly dying. You have a new hand. Yeah. So I guess I'll go ahead and cut through the bullshit. Do you train spies? No, I don't. Do you exactly know why I'm curious about that question? Because you tried to seduce me. Not only that, you wanted information out of me. You and I shared a bed one time, and I told you who I was. All of Japan knows. I take it that wasn't you? It's information. Though, it's also interest. Kid, you don't know who you are, do you? I'm well aware of who I am. You're a mystery. A puzzle. You're also strong. And, well, you're different. How so? I can't get a good read on you. I like mysteries. I like puzzles. Solving them with Coda, it's a good way to pass time. Is he even real? Pixie? He's real. Mandalay pulling out her phone and showing Deku a picture of her nephew. And Deku does a stare at the image. Right now, a photo as he does a sweep his way through the gallery. And she does express. Right now, the door going to open. And a group of girls, they do come walking in. Right now, Kimi does get a step in, as he does go to see 3 others. Right now, Kimi going to turn and look directly at Deku. And he does a turn, his gaze softening when it does go to reach her. And she does look good. Better? No, that's just Kimi. Definitely a little stylish. And a little different. No, she looks exactly the same. Him going to stand. And Ibara, she does going to move forward. As so does Mina. Bring up her hands as Deku, he does at a stand. And move slowly but deliberately. The pelt sitting at the table. And Kimi does a walk around the table and rush Deku. Her slamming into him into a hug. And everyone does it a freeze. Deku especially. Looking down at Kimi does look up and go to kiss him. And that it does definitely catch him off guard. As he does go to bring his hands up, wrapping them around her. And for just 1 second, just that little second, his mother was alive again. He was himself a year ago. That smell that her hair has, the feeling of her lips, her body in his, that memory, that day, it flashes through his mind like lightning. And she does it a pull away. Rhino wrapping Deku in the tightest possible hug she can. And everyone, they do it a stare. As someone does get to break the silence. Well, shit. She lost that bet. Yep, I did too. You guys betted on something? We did. I thought you hated me. Him looking down. I thought I'd never see you again. Hey. Listen. Things are complicated. Yeah. They are. I'm sorry. I know. I really am. Can we have the room? Her turning to Mandalay. And Mandalay does turn to Pixie Bob, expressing to Izuku she'd like to continue this chat just a little bit more. Maybe we can. Oh? Correct. Sorry. I'll give you the room. This is a lovely sight. The two going to leave quickly and silently. Mandalay was serious. Why was she serious? And Deku, he does a turn whenever he does hear a sound. The two walked out, and another person came walking in. As right now Ibara is pushing a stroller. And he does hear a baby somewhat cry. And Deku does turn his head to that. His eyes locking on a baby with green eyes. And Kimi does a pull away, quickly walking over and going to express, it's okay, Yuki. Okay, no, mommy's here. Mommy's here. And Deku does stare at that, before the sound of laughter does echo in his ear. And All Might, him and Banjo are laughing. Both of them. Right now, Deku, he does mentally freeze though. Everything he wanted to say to Kimi. The good, the bad, some of the anger, some of the sadness. I mean, he forgot it for a moment when she kissed him. He knows his life is complicated. But right now, she's comforting a crying baby. She's comforting a crying baby. Uh, his birthday was a year ago. No, 3 months old. The baby, it's tiny. And, well, it's got brown hair and freckles with green eyes. Oh, God. Oh, God. He's someone's father. He has a daughter. Oh my God, he has a daughter. Is he okay? Kimi turning, and she does see Deku's puzzled expression. Conflicted, he does look down, and she does to make her way back over, asking if he's alright. Hmm? Um, him staring at the baby, and it does look right back at him. Right now, it with those big emerald eyes. And Deku just stares. She's so small. Uh, you have a daughter. It's your daughter. This, it's one of those complications. I don't even. I. 3 months? Yeah, about 3 months, give or take. But, do you wanna hold her? Deku does gonna bring up his hands, but he doesn't gonna flinch. Looking down at his gloves. Earlier today, he used his power. He used a lot of torque to rip a man's skin from his body. And right now, he's about to hold his daughter with his same hands. A daughter he just found out about. I mean, him going to turn away and take off his gloves. Right now, beginning to undo his armor. And they do to watch Deku take off his gloves. He does take off the shoulder pauldrons on his suit. He does then go to pull off this combat jacket and go to toss it down. And he does go to turn back in the undershirt of the armor. Before he does get to reach out and go to take her carefully and bring her against his chest. I mean, she does start to try and tell him how to hold her. And Deku does do so. I mean, she's fragile. I mean, his mom told him before that babies can be hurt easy. And, well, no, is he doing this right? Is he hurting her? No, he doesn't want to do that. Uh, she's not made of glass. She's fragile, but not that fragile. She's fine. You're doing fine. I, uh, I, I don't know what to do right now. I'm gonna be honest. He's not so scary. Deku glancing up, and they do it a jump. I forgot you were there. They're my friends. They helped me take care of her. And Mandalay, she's helped me as well. I'm still a little terrified of you. Me? I thought you were gonna kill me whenever I came in here. But the way you looked at me, I felt relieved. I wouldn't do that. I know. But people exaggerate your reputation. I care about my family. I mean, if this little girl ever got hurt, I don't know what I'd do. And I'm not sure I want to find that out. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I don't know exactly how to break it to Rieko. I'm sure that you can't stay. So I'll go with you. Huh? Sorry. I I think we should sit down and chat. Are you sure? Yes. Yes. A lot's happened in the last year. And I mean, I do want you guys to come back with me, but we need to chat first. Don't we? Shouldn't we? I mean, I know I know you have obligations. I'm not gonna just run gun ho out of here and fight everyone to take you with me. She might get hurt. Him still glancing down. And the sight, it does elicit some noises Deku doesn't pay attention to. Though Kimi, she has a turn, making sure that at least someone is getting a picture of this. And Ochako does give a thumbs up. As they do to sit down, and Deku does try to prepare himself for a chat with his ex-girlfriend while he's holding their daughter. So there is definitely that. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. I will catch you guys in the next part.